I was reading this article at Zero Hedge, and they have a clip from Gregory Manarino. And I remember talking with him right when he first got started on YouTube. Matter of fact, I may have had him on my channel a couple of times, and we were talking. And he, this is from Max Slava with the shtfplan.com, but it's titled, "It's all being played to keep people believing the system is working. Nothing is real." And honestly, how true is that? Absolutely nothing is real. Every single thing is controlled, rigged, manipulated. Markets, commodities, everything. It says the stock market may be hovering around all-time highs. And by the way, looking at some charts the other day, and a video also, they were showing these lines, and anything above this line is bubble territory, and anything above the next line is extreme bubble territory. Guess where the stock market lies? Not just bubble territory, extreme bubble territory. Housing, on the other hand, is just in bubble territory. The stock market may be hovering around all-time highs, but according to Greg Manarino of Trader's Choice, that doesn't mean the valuations are actually real. He says, "We exist beyond any shadow of any doubt in an environment of absolute fakery where nothing is real, from the prices of assets to what's occurring here with regard to the big Wall Street banks, the Federal Reserve, interest rates, and everything in between. All of this is being played in a way to keep people believing, once again, that the system is working and will continue to work." President Obama has suggested that people like Greg Manarino, who are exposing the fraud for what it really is, are just, my favorite word now, peddling fiction. And just this week, the president argued that he saved the world from a Great Depression, and that the closing credits of the 2008 crash movie, The Big Short, were inaccurate when they claimed that nothing has been done to fundamentally curb the fraud and fix the system under his administration. But as Manarino notes, the president and his central bank cohorts are making these statements because the system is so fragile that if the public senses even the smallest problem, it could derail the entire thing. He says, let's just look at the stock market. There's no possible way at this time that these multiples can be justified with regard to what's occurring with the price action of the overall market. Meanwhile, the market continues to rise. Again, bad news. Oh, this is bad over here in this country, or American markets rally. Oh, good news, markets rally, of course. Oh, I'm sorry, no news, markets rally. This is completely irrational, makes no sense. Only in a rigged system does it make sense. Nothing is real. I can't stress this enough, he says. And we're going to continue to see more fakery and manipulation and twisting of this entire system. We now exist in an environment, or we now exist in an environment where the financial system as a whole has been flipped upside down just to make it function. And that's very scary. We've never seen anything like this in the history of the world. The Federal Reserve has never been in a situation like this. We are completely in uncharted territory where the world's central banks have gone negative interest rates. It's all an illusion to keep the stock market booming. Every single asset now, I don't care what asset. You want to look at currency, debt, housing, metals, the stock market, pick an asset. There's no price discovery mechanism behind it whatsoever. It's all fake. It's all being distorted. 100% correct. It is all fake. It's all being distorted and controlled, rigged. Price goes up when they want it to go up, the club. Price goes down when they want it to go down. And that goes for any of these assets. The system is built upon one premise, and that is confidence that it will work. If that confidence is rattled, the whole thing will implode. Our policymakers are well aware of this. There is collusion between central banks and their respective governments, and it will not stop until it implodes. And what I mean by implode is correct to the fair value. So again, stock market bubble? No. Stock market extreme bubble? Yes. Has to come back down to reality. Housing market, bubble territory, must come back down. Absolutely must. So it goes on to say, the system is built upon the premise, and that premise, again, is that it works. If it's rattled, it all goes to hell in a handbasket. They must have confidence, consumer confidence. And when that confidence is finally lost and the fraud exposed, which is currently happening as we speak, not to the extent it needs to, but it's happening, and it will be, as has always been the case throughout history, the destruction to follow will be one for the history books. In a previous interview, Mannarino warned that things could get so serious after the bursting of such a massive bubble that millions of people would die on a worldwide scale. Now, that does sound odd. Oh, come on. But listen to the logic. It makes perfect sense. It's created a population boom, he says. A population boom has risen in tandem with the debt. It's incredible. And I'll go off to the side here for a second. Perfect example. The place I used to live, I've mentioned this before, has freaking peacocks. Obnoxiously loud screaming, middle of the night, peacocks. And as long as there's neighbors, and there were, feeding them, taking care of them, life is good and life is easy for the peacocks. Out mating, all little female peacocks, males, got me a little picking. I can pick any one of these females and we're going to have little baby peacocks in the near future. And we ain't got nothing to worry about, man. We got food everywhere. Abundance. What happens when that food goes away? I'll give you a perfect another example. And this is a true example that's actually happened. I can't remember where this story came from. It's been so long, but somewhere there was an absolute infestation of like rats or something. So they brought in snakes to eat the rats. And it took a little while because the snakes have to, of course, eat the rats. But again, if food is plentiful, snakes become plentiful because they're mating as well. More little snakes come out. They grow up a little bit bigger, start eating the rats. They get control of the rat population. Then what happens? Ain't enough food to go around. Rats are dwindling. Snakes start dying off. It's that simple. When there's an abundance of resources, food, happiness, lots of creatures surviving, in this case snakes. When that goes away, the rats go away, the snake goes away. That is as simple as it gets, and that's exactly what he's saying. So when the debt bubble bursts, we're going to get a correction, not only in the markets, housing, stock market, but a population correction, he says. It's a mathematical certainty. Millions upon millions of people are going to die on a worldwide scale when the debt bubble bursts. He says, I'm not saying when, I'm saying when, not if. When resources become more and more and more scarce, we're going to see countries at war with each other. People will be scrambling, in a worst case scenario, doing everything they can to survive, to provide for their family and for themselves. There's no way out of it. And we just had the new classification for what women being treated fairly. You must now register women for the draft. Can't leave you guys out, right? Women's rights. Now they made it real easy. Just the other day, women, you must now sign up essentially so that you can be drafted. We got to keep it fair. And I've said this before. I'm going to go ahead and say it again. First, they did the whole women, now you can become a Navy SEAL if you want, or right, you can join the Army, the Marines, whatever. They've lowered the standards of passing so that women can come in, physical standards. And on one side, oh, great, hey, yeah, it's about women's rights. Or is this another Rockefeller thing like they said? Women's liberation in the 60s, that was them. They funded that, Rockefeller Foundation. Well, great, man, they're good people. No. As Rockefeller told his good friend Aaron Russo, who spilled the beans, he said, Aaron, we did that to get the kids out of the house, put them into the public school system so we can indoctrinate them and then get the woman out to go get a job so we can tax her and the husband. Now we can tax both people. That was the point, you idiot. Like joking with you idiot. Because that's what he asked him. He said, Rockefeller tells Aaron Russo, filmmaker, great guy. He's recalling the story. And he says, Aaron, let me ask you something. What do you think women's liberation was about? He said, well, treat women fairly, give them the same rights that men have, equal opportunities. He says, you idiot. That's not what it was about. It was to get the kids out of the house and indoctrinate them in the schools. Now we can tax the woman and the man. They're both going to work while essentially the school raises the kid. You idiot. Joking with him, like saying it that way. He's recalling this story. So, as he said, when resources become scarce, countries will be going at war with each other, people will be scrambling, etc. If they're opening the gates, so to speak, to let women get in the military even more easy in recent times, what does that tell us about our future? As Gerald Celente has always said, and correctly so, current trends form future forecasts or form future events. And the current trend is, let's open up the military for women. So the future is going to tell us we're going to need some women. We just need people in the military. Ain't enough men joining, so we need to let some of those women come in. And I've said this before. It's the part I was going to get to. Oh, you guys got student loan debt. Oh, I'm sorry, 1.3 trillion and climbing, huh? Yeah, it's going to take you a long time to pay that off. And you can never get out of it. I mean, I understand Barack Obama just let 300,000 off the hook because they're pretty much, I don't even know how to categorize those people. They're absolutely never going to pay it. But aside from them, there's millions upon millions upon millions upon millions of people that owe student loan debt. And that'll be you. So listen, we have a program, special program. Kind of like when you get the sales calls. Listen, we want you to take you over from Bright House Networks to a Verizon Fios. Listen, we've got a special promotion this week. It's or this month. It ends at the end of the month, so I can't give you this promotion after that. That's why I'm calling you today to see if I can close this deal. Their promotion is going to be, hey, Joe Blow debt guy. Listen, this is Bill from wherever. Name your government agency, and we want to hire. We need some more people. In other words, we've got a special promotion right now. It ends at the end of the month, and if you sign up, give us 2 years. We used to ask for 4. Give us 2 years. Your student loan debt is paid off, or maybe they don't want to go that far. We'll cut it in half, or they'll work some out with you. But again, if they really need people to get in there, they'll just come out and say, we'll wipe the debt off. After all, it's phony money anyways, right? It's phony money. It's paper money. It's printed out of nothing, right? So to them, it means nothing. To the person, it means everything, because they're thinking the rest of my life, how long is this going to take me to pay this off? I can't get a job. I got a college. I've got the degree. I can't find a job. I can't find a job. Step right up. We'll take care of that student loan debt for you. And then you're going to, not necessarily you, but your kids, or depending on how old you are watching this video right now, or you yourself, are going to sign right up. I can get my student loan debt paid off. I only have to sign up for 2 years, or maybe it'll be the typical 4 year, time you got to do with the military. Oh man, yeah. Well, let me see. If I become a such and such, I will never see like combat duty more than likely. So I think, I'm the smart guy. I'm going to go take that position. And that's what I'm going to go for. So I don't really see any combat duty, only to find out World War III broke out and you sure as hell did see combat duty and you may not be coming back. Hey, but your student loan debt's paid off. There isn't a chance in hell, if my kids were old enough, I got little girls, if they were old enough to get involved or, be recruited by any of the armed forces, there's not a chance in hell I would even allow them to do it. Not in this current environment with this country, the people have taken over this country, and have been abusing our military over the years for nothing but geopolitical back pocket deals. We got to go get Saddam. He's going to invade Kuwait. They go over there, set them up on the oil fields. I thought we had to go get Saddam. Nah, he's going to hang out in these oil fields for a while. And like Barack Obama promised, I told you I was going to get rid of the remaining 50,000 troops of Iraq when I took office, and today's that day, as I've mentioned before. Well, hold on a minute. The previous day, I remember reading an article that 2 of the big 3 oil companies got primo contracts signed for the oil in Iraq. And the next day, the president comes out and says, I'm making good on my promise. We're pulling out of Iraq. Coincidence? No. This is the world we live in. Take care.